Hi everyone, in today's video I'm doing another shell challenge. This shell challenge is from Kamila here on YouTube. She also has an Instagram which is KamilaYtb I believe, but I will link her channel and her IG in the description box below. But if you're not familiar with what a shell challenge is, it's when a creator makes the shell of a building. You can make it a home or a community lot, but I don't like making community lots, so I always go with a home. And you're not supposed to delete or move any of the walls that they create for the shell, but for Kamila's shell challenge, she did give the option of making it have a second story to the home, so I went and did that. But for the smaller room that she created on the side, instead of making that an actual two-story, I just lifted it, gave it a really high foundation to make it look like it was a two-story section of the build. But yeah, so what I ended up doing is making the bigger part of the house, I made a loft, and then for that smaller room on the outside, I made that an artist's studio. So it's kind of like separate, but still a part of the home. What I really enjoy about doing these shell challenges is that I don't have to think about what the exterior of the home is shaped like. I just have to make it look nice. So unless I have like an actual goal as far as the style of home that I'm going for, I never really know how to make the shape. So being able to just take the shape someone already created and make something from that, I feel like it's really fun and it's an interesting challenge, you know, being able to create a floor plan from something that you didn't really have any control over as far as the actual shape or space of it. So the reason I decided to go for an industrial look with this home is because I've always wanted to do an industrial style build. I've just never really had a whole lot of motivation, I guess, because it's a style that I really enjoy, but because I've never created it myself, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do it correctly, because I think way too much about the things that I create. And even, you know, I looked at a lot of reference images to try to help me decide on the different design choices for this home, but I still don't know if I really hit the mark on it. I mean, you can tell me in the comments if you think it actually fits the style, but there was a video that Kamila did a couple months back, or a couple weeks back, where she did an industrial style apartment, and it was so nice. And I commented on that video, and you know, she said that I should try it sometime, and so I thought that doing her shell would be kind of the perfect opportunity to try to do the industrial style. And I thought the shape of the house really worked well too, with trying to create with the reference images I was looking at. I feel like a lot of them were really I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt like it really worked well, especially with me giving it a second story, like with the loft area and everything. I feel like it really matched it well, and I was determined to use these stairs that come, or you know what, now that I think about it, I don't know which pack they came with, but they're really industrial looking, and I really wanted to use those because I feel like it adds that touch that you really need inside of an industrial style home. So it did take me quite some time to decide on a lot of the furniture pieces though, because I really wasn't sure exactly what would communicate an industrial style look to it, but I want it to be still comfortable, because I really like to make the houses that I create, I like to make them look really cozy or like lived in, you know, somewhat cluttered but not overly, and still like put together for the most part. And so there were actually times where I stopped recording so that I could change the furniture and you know, like all the different design options, like the wall colors and everything. I changed it so many times, and it was just ridiculous having to record it all, because it would have been like 10 minutes of me just changing furniture and colors of things. And so yeah, I decided to just like cut out a lot of it, and you know, I was just really experimenting a lot and trying to create something that looked interesting but still went with the style. So I think that I actually really like the way this ended up, except for the fact that like the kind of half bathroom, or I don't know if you'd even call it a half bathroom, I don't know, but the bathroom that I created on the first floor, I mean, it's so small. I put a shower and a toilet in there, but there's no sink because I could not fit a sink in there. But at the same time, there's a sink in the kitchen, and I feel like if they really need to use a sink, they can use one in the kitchen. Otherwise, they can wash their hands in the shower. But of course, they wouldn't actually do that because Sims don't actually do that. But you know, I mean, if this was like a real house or something. But because, you know, I do like to like build my Sims creations with the idea that the Sims are real people, and I like to imagine what they would do in certain situations and all that. But you know, that's actually why I like to do these shell challenges too, because I like having a certain goal in mind and or a specific challenge. I really like challenging myself to either creating something that's a lot like something else, or like trying to get the style of the home to be, you know, pretty much like that style. I don't know if I'm even making sense, but you know, kind of like, instead of just doing a generic home like that can fit anything or anybody and has any kind of furniture or whatever, like I don't really like having to do that. I like to like think of a house, like a house style, I guess, you know, and then furnishing it to fit that style, while also furnishing it to fit a kind of family or, you know, storyline to match. So like, as opposed to like for this loft, you know, I want it to be an artist loft, so throughout the whole build I tried to put a lot of different artwork and stuff in the build, because I imagine that the artists who live here enjoy all kinds of different art as opposed to just one style or the other. So I wanted to make sure there was a bunch of different art on the walls inside the loft, and if I was to build like a suburban house or something like that for a big family, which I've done, I would furnish it to fit the big family and to make it look like it was made for them, you know? And so as opposed to like, if you were to build a house like for a single person, it wouldn't look the same as a house for 5 people, you know? And so I like to have like those different things kind of laid out so that when I go in to do a build, I'm building it specifically for that. And I don't know if I'm making any sense. But yeah, so I just really enjoy doing things like that when it comes to creating these homes, and that's part of the reason why I like to do you know, kind of storylines to my builds and everything, because I just like to be able to fit the decor for the family and things like that. So, and you know, I don't exactly know what classifies as a loft. I like to think that a loft is just kind of like an open space as opposed to any defined bedrooms. So that's why I was calling this a loft, but I actually really love the way the bedroom area turns out. I think that like all the colors really work well together, and it's not overly matching or anything like that. And yeah, I don't know, like I just feel like the style, I mean, again, I don't know if I actually hit the mark on the style per se, but I feel like it works so well in like the bedroom loft area. And then the second bathroom that I end up putting upstairs, which is the full bathroom, I feel like it works out really well too. I love those hanging lights. I don't know which one they're from. I want to say they're from Spa Day or something, but I think they look so cute over the tub the way I end up putting it, and I feel like it really has that kind of industrial feel to it. So I kind of wish I incorporated those lights somewhere else too, or like, I don't know, maybe in the dining room, I don't know. And if you notice, I pretty much do the entire inside of the house before I actually go to the outside of the home and start doing any landscaping or anything. And that was mostly because for an industrial style home, I had no idea what the landscaping should look like. Between recording what I was doing, you know, like I would stop recording and I was looking at more reference images and everything, and just trying to get a better idea of, you know, what I should put outside. And I feel like the industrial style kind of coincides with a lot of the eco lifestyle houses people have been building a lot with the new expansion coming out pretty soon. So I guess you could say it's kind of pretty much like that. I don't know exactly what the difference would be if someone was to explain it, but yeah. So I guess in a way this kind of leans towards that whole eco lifestyle aesthetic too, but I just really like, I wanted to keep it kind of structured because I feel like that's what a lot of the reference images look like. Like the yards were all pretty well kept and structured, and and at first you see that I kind of put the driveway on the right side of the build, but once I actually started building like a carport area, I don't know, I really just wasn't liking it. I feel like it threw off the whole style of the build and it was just looking kind of whack. And so I actually ended up and I stopped recording too, and I did it more, like I was just experimenting with it and changing it up and everything, and I ended up hating it. So you see that I deleted the whole thing and I moved the lot to the side so I could actually move the car to the left side of the lot. But even with that, the space that's underneath the like front porch area of the art studio, the way I raised it, like I thought that I would be able to kind of fit the car underneath there, but it will not. I mean, even though the car is a debug item, it won't let you put it underneath the foundation, even though the foundation is stilted. So I was a little confused by that, but I was also a little upset because I really wanted to kind of make it look like it was the carport. But yeah, and I ended up changing that completely though, and I think, I don't remember when I do it. I think it was before I finished the backyard, but I ended up giving them like a full kind of driveway, and I put a second car there. So this could be for a single sim, but I just kind of imagined that it was a couple that lives here. So, kind of hipsterish, kind of trendy couple that lives here, and they have their own art studio, and they're just, whatever. But yeah, I didn't put a fence around the whole lot, even though I think I usually do that for the most part. I almost always put a fence around the yard and everything, but I decided to kind of keep this one open, like, because they don't really need, since they don't have kids, they don't need any like boundaries or anything to keep their kids confined to the yard or anything like that. And I mean, since the lot that I have this on is like in a pretty good looking neighborhood, of course you could put it on any lot if you actually downloaded it, but I just imagine that the couple that lives here, like, they know all their neighbors and they're friends with everyone that lives around them, and so they don't really feel the need to have a like fenced yard or anything like that. And, and maybe they see the fence as looking tacky or something like that, like with their artistic eyes, like they don't want to mess up their yard by putting a fence all around it or something like that. So, and in the art studio, I end up loving the art studio mostly because I am an artist myself, so I was really like taking what I would have in my art studio and kind of putting that here. And I put the big windows because if you don't paint, you might not know that you need really good like air circulation, especially if you're painting with oil paints, because there's a lot of chemicals and everything that goes into painting with oils. So I have the big windows that are kind of open, and I put like all these canvases everywhere and paint everywhere. And then I put like the shelf with the paper towels and stuff because they need paper towels when they're painting, like to clean up stuff or to wipe their brushes on. And then I also just put like some random things because I imagine that the artists here use like all these different items like for references or for like still life paintings and things like that. And I even like set up a little still life setup on the table next to the painting area, so I have the fruits and the vase and the flowers and stuff. But that's pretty much it. I think I add trash cans and lights outside and everything at the end, or like off camera, but you will see that in the screenshots which are coming up. So please remember to give this video a like. Please subscribe to my channel to see more videos from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!